God, they get so greedy, you know, and I understand because we're all just trying to rock. The notes are gonna continue to go down, and they're going to stay down. Okay, like I tell my clients this all the time, and then I get messages from them, and they say, I decided to start playing the entire phrase, and I'll say, dude, why do you hate yourself so much? That's not what I say. I'm very encouraging. I never understood how to alternate pick, and then I learned this. That's what we're going to be talking about today in the video. There's so many people online trying to learn how to alternate pick. When I talk to people, that's pretty much the main thing that comes up is I'm working on my alternate picking, I'm working on this or that. So today I figure we go over a video in more detail, kind of the exact tricks that I'm showing my clients, because a lot of people will go the endurance route, a lot of people will go the sprinting route, but then they won't do it right. So we're going to get to the bottom of this today, so buckle up, get ready to rock. Yeah, let's just go for a big phrase, because what will happen is people will try to learn this big solo, right? Let's say it's a Yngwie Malmsteen solo, or maybe it's just like a Saigon Kick solo, or George Lynch solo. There will be this particular shreddy run, right, or Paul Gilbert, and it'll go. Let's say it's something like that, right? So people will sit there and they will try to play that, right? You know, maybe they'll get caught up like I did just there. You know, sometimes the pick isn't making contact with the string on either side. The alternate picking is inconsistent. You know, there will be like two ups in there, and then there will be some of this like tenseness, right? You know, it's even hard for me to imitate the tenseness because my muscle memories are like very locked in with trying to play things right. That's on a side note, you know, the problem is, or what I'm saying a lot with my clients is, practice makes permanent, not perfect, you know. So if we're putting it in practice and we're not doing a killer, we're rehearsing the mistake over and over. That's going to be harder and harder to break down. So that's why it's all about breaking this lick down. Here's a pretty big lick, right? We're going. There's a pickup note there where it goes da 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 da. Yeah, so 7 times 4 was that 28. So there's 28 16th notes here, and the first thing we need to do is understand that, you know, if I'm to play a phrase that has now 16, when we say 28 16th notes, then we got to start with the same phrase, but let's break down the multiples to something much easier to start with. So if there's 4, if it's all multiples of 4, which that's what 16th notes are, then the smallest number of notes I can play is 4. Now the thing is, people don't stop there. So what I'm saying is to apply this to the guitar before I get too ahead of myself. 1, 2, 3. That would be the smallest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm putting an extra note in there, so it's really 5. So it's always 4 plus 1. Why am I doing that? It's because now the downbeat is going to suck all the other notes into the right subdivision. If I don't do that, then what happens all the time, because I see this with the people that I work with, so it's definitely happening with you, you're making a different subdivision. And ultimately that's just pushing you further away from your goal, because if you want to play a specific subdivision, such as a line with 16th notes in it, they have to actually play 16th notes. You can't play like one triplet and then two groups of 16th notes, and then maybe finishing off with a couple of eighth notes, or much more likely playing two groups of 16th notes and then like one sextuplet to try to fit everything in there. Or usually actually people kind of slow down, so it would probably be like, yeah, basically what happens is the beat gets close and they'll play a little bit over it. Versus when they know you have to line up on the downbeat with one extra note, then your mind kind of does something that says, so it's like click, 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 click. Yeah, it's pretty hard to sing and play, but that's the main thing. Is what I'm saying is getting one note on that last click. So if this phrase that we're splitting up into, instead of all 28 notes, we just have 2 beats of 16th notes, so that's going to give us 8 notes plus 1, so it's a 9-note phrase. We still have that one extra note in there. Same thing if it's a 12-note phrase plus 1, so a 13-note phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be like click, 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 click. That has to be there. Otherwise, we end up going. It's like some like faster phrase or slower phrase that doesn't end up being full 16th notes. You end up with like some sextuplets, like it'll be something like that. Just not the right subdivision. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on the fretboard now. Okay, so here we go. Here's an example. This is the phrase that we would be playing. You can slide up to this note, but this is a group of 16th notes. So right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beats of 16th notes, and then we add one extra note on there. So now we have 16th notes for 6 beats, and then we have this one little half note, whatever. That note is important because it's going to line this up. So the problem people make when they do metronome work is they say, oh, okay, so this is the phrase, the number one problem. I'm going to play this whole phrase with the metronome, And so that'll be like click, 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 click. And, they'll mess it up every single time. That's what you're doing. I'm 100% sure. You play the whole phrase, you mess it up, you get discouraged, you never bring the metronome. Or you get it to a certain point and you're like, I just can't do it past that point. Well, instead of playing this whole phrase, let's say you're at, let's get our little BPM guy out here. So you're playing this at 140 beats per minute. And you're saying, Coach, and Coach is, me or yourself, and you're saying, dude, Coach, I can't play any faster than 140. I've tried. It doesn't work. You're playing this whole entire phrase. You're probably not actually playing the downbeat. You're probably playing some variation of this, not actually all 16th notes. Well, I'll tell you what the smart guitar player would do. Is he would take it down to here, and he'd go up 5 beats per minute from there. So now we're at 145. Now it's like, oh shit, I can actually play this phrase. I can play this whole thing. I didn't have to bring the metronome down. By the way, that's taboo. Here's here's the big mistake. Instead of doing what I just explained, I'll show you what idiots do. Idiots, including you. Okay, this is what you and other idiots do. So you go like this. You go from here. You say, I can't play it. I know. There we go. Now I can play it. Still bad. So how's that working out for you? How do you like playing the same phrase shitty, but still just as shitty, but now slower also? Is that how you're going to crush your BPM goals? Yeah, I didn't think so. So here's what you do instead, okay? This took me years to figure out, man. It's yours here, just for your attention span. Just for the simple price of having an attention span long enough to get to this point of the video, you're getting this secret, okay? All right, so I've already explained it. We need a downbeat, so we're not going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like totally fuck this subdivision up. That's not going to work. We need to play all the way to here. Okay, but when we do that, we were at 130, let's say. 130, you're playing it all right, but now you just can't quite make it anymore. We're going to 135. Okay, that's cool. So now we're playing this phrase at 135 beats per minute. And you know, maybe we can do that. Let's see, what does that sound like? We're playing no longer the 6 beat phrase, but now a 5 beat phrase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going down that much. All right, so that still sounds pretty decent, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, as it turns out, you know, it sounds all right, but let's say it didn't sound all right. Let's say it sounded something more like this. Fuck. Oh my God. See, maybe that's more realistic, right? So I fudged like those last 2 notes. So, you know, let's say I do that consistently. We really don't need a large percentage. This is kind of like going overkill now. We don't need a large percentage of success to move up in BPM, as long as we're bringing the volume of notes that we're playing down. All right, we can actually do this around 50% or even 25% of the times that you play the repetition, you're killing it, you can move up in BPM. So, you know, because I did that decent, I'm going to go up to 140. But let's say that I didn't, right? I'm still going to move up to 140. Now, the only difference is, okay, so that was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 note phrase with 1 extra beat, 6 beat phrase. Okay, so I played it, whether I played it killer or not, I'm going to 140. So the metronome is moving up. No matter what, we're playing faster. But let's say we couldn't get all those notes. Where are we going to go? We're going to go to a 4 beat phrase. Now, what's wrong with this picture right here? If you've been paying attention at all, it's this. We don't have a downbeat. If we play this, we're not going to play real subdivisions. We're not going to end up actually playing 16th notes. We're just going to play some bullshit. We're going to play like 3 16th notes and then like 1 quintuplet or like 1 triplet that hangs over this beat. It doesn't actually happen. All right, so we need to focus on making sure that we can actually play this downbeat. So now we play. Okay? That sounds pretty good. So let's say I played a killer, and you'll find, you know, as we bring the volume of notes down, it'll be a lot easier, and you'll realize, oh wow, okay, so now I can play at 145 beats per minute. This is epic. You know, you might try it at 145 and find, oh, you know what, that sounded great too. I can go to 150. You know, so now we're playing this phrase up at 150 beats per minute. You're still playing 16th notes at 150 beats per minute. Your body's still acclimating to playing at this higher speed. You know, it might even be, for you, the fastest you've played so far. Okay? But, let's say, finally, we're playing this 5-note phrase now, 5-beat phrase. And you realize, you know what? I'm messing this up. From like literally 2 seconds ago, we explained this process. We're gonna repeat the same process. So we have 1, 2. And you'll notice I'm taking like 4 beats in between each repetition that I play, and that's gonna give me time to rest, so that I can do this again. Similar to like if I were to bench press this guitar, and this guitar was like, you know, I guess this is a shoulder press. If I were to shoulder press this guitar, and this guitar was like 200 pounds extra, okay, I wouldn't be able to do it. Spoiler alert, maybe if it was like 125 pounds extra, I could do it. As just like a little, you know, a little ego pump right there. But am I gonna do this, like bust out my personal record six times in a row, you know, get 10 reps and then no rest, I'm going to go for 11 reps, and then no rest, I'm going to go for 12 reps? It's never going to happen. So what do people do in between these weightlifting sets? They get some active recovery going. You know, they might like spin their shoulders around, you know, do one of these. I love one of those. They might talk to their bro. They might finish, you know, messaging some people on YouTube who want to become clients of yours. So what you're going to do is you're not going to play these reps of 150 really quick. Like, that's really common when people start. Okay, we're going to give a little bit of recovery in between each repetition, actually. So it's going to be like 2, 3, 4. Honestly, yeah, those 3 beats is usually enough. It's almost 4 beats because you only play 1 note instead of 4 on the first of those 4 rest beats. Okay, so as I was saying, we were killing it at 150, you know, which, let's be real, this is child's play here at 150, you know. If you're just getting into this, you know, and that's this is like your first day playing at 155, congratulations, obviously, that's super sick, you know. I'm glad to be a small part of that, but let's be real, we want to get to the gold standard of 200. That's like literally where we can start. You can literally think about starting to play guitar when you can play at 200 beats per minute, 16th note. So that's kind of like where we're comparing everything off of, because I think that's important. Just, I mean, you should be able to play some 16th notes at prestissimo, which I believe actually starts at 180. All right. So let's say we killed that. We're going to 160. It all fell apart at 160. So what are we going to do now? Well, yes, I'm imagining you screaming to me exactly what we're supposed to do. Actually, not really, because even my clients, like, when I explain this stuff, you know, it just doesn't go through. So I might be bad at explaining things, or it's just, you know, human nature. We need a couple of times to go through stuff. When I take jiu-jitsu classes, I watch the coach do it. I try my best, but, you know, when it comes time to drill the move, I don't know how to do it. That's just the way that it goes, and that's fine. It's not something to be ashamed of. So I'm just going to explain it to you one more time. I think this is the third time I'm going to explain it. Let's say we can't do it. Are we going up in BPM? Fuck yes. Are we going down in volume of notes? Yes, we are. Unless we played a killer, then we can keep the same volume of notes. But we're not going to increase the volume of notes. That's what people do. God, they get so greedy, you know, and I understand because we're all just trying to rock. We all just want to be killer. But it's really not setting yourself up for success, similar to the weightlifting analogy, okay? If I just get my personal record of like benching 200 pounds, that's American. You know, I don't know what it is in European. What, like 140 probably? Maybe 160 kilos? Somewhere in between. Okay, let's say I just got my first personal record. Now I'm gonna rack on 50 more pounds. You know, like 100 more pounds, because that's what Slash is doing. You know, Slash is freaking weightlifting 300 pounds, bench pressing 300 pounds right now, okay? Slash has like a 400-pound deadlift. So I want to also hit that deadlift. Yeah. You know, Slash probably isn't going to, you know, just go from a 300-pound deadlift to a 600-pound deadlift, like from one rep to another. You know, this stuff takes time. So we're not going to take this small 12-note phrase plus one extra downbeat to fit into the subdivision just right, to now we're going to play the 32-note phrase. It's just not going to work like that. So what I'm saying, on the guitar, right, we're not going to play 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not going to now go. We're not going to do that, okay, because it's never going to work out. So we're going to take things slow. We're going to consistently increase the metronome. We're not going to bring the metronome down ever. Once we establish a decent place for ourselves to start, we're going to keep the metronome right there. Now, what are we going to do with the notes? The notes are going to continue to go down, and they're going to stay down. Okay, like I tell my clients this all the time, and then I get messages from them, and they say, I decided to start playing the entire phrase. And I'll say, dude, why do you hate yourself so much? That's not what I say. I'm very encouraging. But, you know, it's in a not so nice way. That is essentially what I'm saying. Is like, dude, okay, we're essentially wasting our time if we're not going to follow the instructions as they are. That's how you're going to get the best results. Just do the exact steps that the people who have already accomplished what you're looking to accomplish have taken to get there. That's all you have to do. You don't have to like interject, oh, what about my ideas? What about my ego? It's like, no, it's not important right now. Soon, someday, maybe a very, very soon day from here on out, you will come to me and you'll say, actually, I found a better way of doing it. And I will be all ears because I'm open-minded. Unlikely that you're going to find a better way to do it than this, because I've been doing it a long time, helping a lot of guys do it, you know, and it's like, this is how you do it. A lot of people are clear on these small amount of note bursting now, okay? But at the same time, a lot of people are not super disciplined. They're not following these instructions explicitly. Okay. So that said, let's bring the metronome up. Let's bring our amount of notes down. Okay, so we were at 160. Let's go to 165 now. Okay, and now instead of playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead of playing this 5-beat phrase, now we're going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll be right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that would be the phrase. Let's see what it looks like. So what did we say? We had this 5-note phrase, right? 5-beat phrase. Okay, so then we went down to the 4-beat phrase. Okay, so that would be like this. So we have 3 beats of full 16th notes, plus we're ending on this. So we have ticka 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 that, ticka 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 that, ticka 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 that, and we didn't go up, 15 beats at a time. We slowly went to 155. Okay, and we assessed where we were at from 155, and then we went to 160, and then it sounded like we were doing good at 160, but we just weren't able to play the whole 5-note phrase, 5-beat phrase. So we decided, hey, you know what? Let's just go down to the 4-beat phrase, okay? But we'll continue to bring the metronome up 5 beats per minute, okay? So that's what we did, and now we're in this pleasant place where we are playing 16th notes at 165 beats per minute, And that's a very special day, and I'm very proud of you. That's awesome. Okay? So, yeah, if you kind of enjoyed this insight and would like to see a little bit more, I would recommend subscribing to my channel, because I hope to start making some more videos. And I hate my language just there, because that essentially means nothing, I am going to start making more videos. In fact, I have already started making more videos. So if you would like to be a part of this journey, I would recommend subscribing and probably hitting that notification bell. And if you would like to talk to me about anything at all related to the guitar, I'm not going to listen now to your life story, but if you would like to talk to me about anything in relation to playing faster or understanding the modes, this and that, I recommend hitting myself up on Instagram, because I reply to everybody, and I'm always down to share a little time, a little wisdom where I can, because I do like to give back to the guitar community that's been so good to me for, pretty much giving me a full-time job since I was fairly young, but for sure the past 3 years, this has been my full-time gig. So yeah, I have a lot of appreciation to give back. Besides that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I will see you very, very soon in the next one. May the force be with you. And you as well.